makers and market movers. This is The Pulse with Francine Lacqua.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to The Pulse. I'm Francine Lacqua here in London with the conversations that matter, and here's what's coming up on today's program. Nvidia could be on track to add around $140 billion to its market cap as a chip maker posts a bullish forecast for AI computing. Lenovo, the world's leading PC maker, tops estimates with higher demand for its AI products. We'll discuss with the company's chief financial officer later this hour. Plus, the British Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, takes a gamble by calling a general election on July 4th, with his party more than 20 points behind in the polls.
Now is the moment for Britain to choose its future, to decide whether we want to build on the progress we have made or risk going back to square one with no plan and no certainty.
Also coming up in the next few minutes, we've been looking forward to this all week. The chief executive of the iconic Italian automaker Ferrari joins us for a rare exclusive interview. We'll discuss the car maker's shift to electric. But first thing is first, so let's get some of the market moves out of the way. If you look at European stocks, but also U.S. futures, they're actually climbing after upbeat earnings from Nvidia. That seems to have reinforced optimism over the global AI boom. Now, equity markets once again getting a boost from tech. A Bloomberg gauge of Asian chip makers actually jumped as much as 1.9%. And then we look at sterling. And of course, we also look at gilts after the call from Rishi Sunak of a general election on July 4th. That's when UK voters will go to the polls. You can see sterling 127.26. Now, we're also getting some euro area manufacturing PMIs. I don't know whether that's having a huge impact on euro, but it's a touch above estimates. So anything below 50 is still in contraction territory. That number coming up 47.4, and then services PMI unchanged. The forecast is above 50. So the UK Prime Minister has set the date for a surprise summer general election on July the 4th. Over the next 6 weeks, Rishi Sunak will fight the campaign partly with a message that the economy is picking up. Well, for more on this, let's bring in Bloomberg's Justina Lee. Justina, if you look at some of the market moves, so he's called the election. What does it mean for gilts and BOE policy?
Well, at least for now, there doesn't seem to be a big market reaction. But I think kind of between yesterday's CPI numbers, which was kind of another kind of worse than expected in that inflation was higher than expected print, and between that and the fact that we're now going to have an election in July, I think that's going to mean that economists are increasingly not counting on a rate cut coming in June just yet, but pushing that further down the line in the year, which of course is sort of the trend that we're seeing with U.S. forecasts as well.
Justina, once again, Nvidia single-handedly propping up the U.S. stock market. Are we over-optimistic about this AI boom, or are we just getting started?
Yeah, it's incredible, right? I mean, I feel like, you know, if I came in with you yesterday, I would be like, oh, my God, how are they going to meet expectations? But somehow they keep doing it. I mean, even with second quarter revenue, I mean, that forecast beat estimates as well. And I think what this speaks to is the fact that, you know, a lot of these tech trends are really a winner-takes-all market. And so it's also a secular trend in the sense that people are investing in these regardless of kind of what happens to the business cycle. But I think going ahead, people are asking questions such as, you know, can the supply keep up with the demand? And also, you know, can Nvidia broaden its client base beyond kind of a lot of those big kind of cloud service providers that we all know about?
And then, Justina, we have two other stories. I mean, J.P. Morgan's Jamie Dimon once again warning on the U.S. economy that we're too complacent. We could potentially see a hard landing. Then at the same time, China trying to support a lot of the sectors in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. I think that an interesting question that's come up with the U.S. economy is that we are starting to see a lot of data points kind of actually turning for the worst, even though inflation hasn't really cooled. And I think that kind of brings forward, you know, the S word, the stagflationary narrative. We're not there yet, but I think the question here is, could we get sticky inflation, but also growth coming down at the same time if a lot of that inflation is, in fact, driven by supply-side factors?
Justina, as always, thank you so much for a terrific roundup of the main market-moving news, Justina Lee. Now, coming up, the exclusive conversation with the man overseeing a new era at one of the world's most famous car brands. The Ferrari chief executive, Benedetto Vigna, joins us next, and this is Bloomberg. Well, the conversations that matter, the insights you need. This is a Pulse, and I'm Francine Lacqua here in London. Now, my next guest is in charge of one of the world's most iconic companies. We're, of course, talking Ferrari. The luxury car maker, famous for its roaring engine, has started a shift to battery power. Now, it's building a factory to make hybrid and electric cars that will be ready next month, with the first fully electric model expected late next year. But Ferrari is still relying on its profitable combustion engine vehicles also to protect margins. Well, I am delighted, so is the newsroom, to be joined by Benedetto Vigna, the company's chief executive. Benedetto, thank you so much. It's so nice to catch up with you again. I think we spoke a couple of months ago on leaders. Talk to me a little bit about electrification. So you weren't the first one to jump on this bandwagon. Do you now have an advantage for having been a little bit more cautious?
But I think that electrification journey in Ferrari started a few years ago. It was the case of Formula One. It was the case of supercar in 2013. It is the case of 4 hybrid model. Actually 6, if I consider the special version. They are having a tremendous traction on the market. Just considering Q1, almost 50% of the cars that we sold in Q1 are hybrid. So electric car is the next step in our roadmap.
But so are you happy? I think last time we spoke, you were talking to me about secret protocols and the secret car.
I'm very happy.
You're very happy.
I'm very happy.
Give us what are you most happy about?
But I think the car we are setting up is a car that is unique in all the respect. Let's put it this way. Our electric car just goes beyond the basic electrons and byte that everyone is talking about. There is much more in a car, but you have to wait till Q4 next year.
No, I know, but is it what is it? Are you replicating sound? Is it the way it drives?
We don't like to mimic what is typical of another world. We are interpreting the technology in a unique way. Yeah. Electric engine is not silent. Electric engine can deliver some emotion. Yeah. That usually in the mass market car that you have today, you don't find it. So it's up to us to interpret this technology in a unique way, to make something unique.
So has it exceeded your expectation? And do you think that will translate into sales?
It's on the way there. It's on the way to exceed. We still have some time. We are on the right track. I'm satisfied where we are. The final judgment is the client. The client is the most important asset for a company because also they are the final judgment. I think the client will like it, but we'll see.
You already have orders, or do you
No, we don't take orders. We take the orders.
We
take orders only when we launch it. It's the same story of the 12 cylinder we announced a few days ago.
But give me a sense of, there's now this war basically on EVs between China, the US, and Europe is also in the middle. What does that mean for the electrification of cars in general?
Look, maybe yes, there is people are defining it as a war. I think for me it's a nice competition. Okay. For me this is a call to action for Europe. It's a call to action to become more, how can I say, pushy, less complacent. And in my life, I've been always taught that if someone is faster than you, better you are faster than them. And if you want, this is also what we are doing in Formula One. In racing, that's what you have to do. If someone is faster, be faster than them. Don't try to stop them.
Faster and better.
And better, yeah, sure.
Because if you're not, if you're not better, then it's tough, right? Does Europe, you think, have a natural advantage in this? But
faster, in any direction. Call it product innovation, call it customer intimacy, call it cost leadership. When I say faster, to visualize on a track, but in all the direction that make unique a company, in all the direction that, if you want, are the pillar of the sustainability of a company.
But do you worry? You're dealing in supercars, right? This is like the top of the top of the top.
Yeah.
If people buy less electric cars at the kind of base level, does it make a difference to the attractiveness of your cars?
I don't think so. I think that for a company like ours, it's important that we take the 3 colors, the red, the blue, and the green, and we show the client that we can harness them in a unique way and deliver unique emotion. I think that we don't sell, allow me to say, technologies. We sell emotions. And then technology is a way to deliver unique emotion to our client.
Of course, this is what luxury companies say. They sell emotions, the desirability. But what kind of client do you think is attracted to the electric Ferrari?
I think that we will have 3 kinds of clients. We will have a traditional client, some existing client of Ferrari that will not take an electric car. Then we will take existing client that will say, you know what, I will take also electric, like I took hybrid and IC. And then there are clients to whom I already talked that are saying, you know, I will be part of your community, of your family, if and only if you will be able to offer me an electric car. I think these are the three kind of clients that I'm sure we'll find in the future.
But, I mean, is the last one harder to find?
I have to say that I have already met tens of those people that are waiting for our green car, allow me to call in this way.
Younger clients, or does it, or is it more by region? Does it make
let's
a difference?
say, I would say, yeah, maybe younger than 50, yeah. But there are also people I have in mind between 50 and 60 that are willing to take this kind of car.
But talk to me about, so I see, what goes, you know, what kind of models are you working on? What happens to that over the next 10 years?
What I would like to...
You're amongst friends.
yeah. I'm sure. I mean, I like to have this kind of question. We keep going with the plan we shared with in Capital Market Day 2 years ago. We said that we'll keep going with the 12-cylinder, we have the 8-cylinder thermal, and then we have the 6- and 8-cylinder hybrid, and then we are adding this platform. I think it's important for a company like ours to go ahead with this platform and to look at the car just, I mean, beyond electrification, digitalization. There are many other things you can do in a car, and that's what we are doing.
So in 10 years, how many, I mean, do you already have an idea, or is 10 years too far away? Should I ask
Is it a little
about
bit
5
too far
years?
away?
5 years?
What I would like to say, that prefer quality of our revenues and our P&L to quantity. Let me say in this way.
Fair. Benedetto, when you look around the world, you know, we talk about inflation. That's not something that touches a lot of your customers. We talk about the worries about geopolitics. Does it impact the demand, or does it make the cars more desirable?
We did not see any impact on this. I think we have to be watchful. We have to keep always to be watchful to make sure that we are on track. As of now, we don't see any impact. Clearly, we have to manage some increase in price, in cost of energy and material. We are working on that, but it's the beauty of the life, you know? You have to cope with the situation that you don't know. But if you know everything, it's not fun.
It's not fun. What do you worry about the most?
I think that what is important for us is that one point, we are a successful company, a successful team. We need to make sure that we are always with 4 wheels on the ground. We have always to listen the weak signal from the external world. We have to care really about the sustainability, like we are doing, and then we don't have to teach. We have to learn. I think this is very important, because when you are in a successful team, you may lose the compass. You may start to believe that whatever you do, you will be successful, and this is not good. We have to be 4 wheels on the ground.
Like humble, I like that, 4 wheels on the ground. How do you deal with the China strategy?
How do you?
China. How do you deal with...
China, for us, it's... we said 2 years ago, China, overall, China, Hong Kong, Greater China, will not go beyond 10% of our sales. Why? For a couple of reasons. One is because the market in China is still not mature. We need to give time to mature. And the second, because it's a little bit decretive on the margin side for the profit and loss. But really, we need, for each country, we need to give the time to mature. There are other countries also that are showing good growth, and also there we have to proceed in the right way.
But I mean, the China template could be a little bit different to other markets, right? Because there's a crackdown on some luxurious, you know, brands. So again, how do you see that evolving? Is it like a stop and start?
I would like to say in this way: China is not for Ferrari what it is for other luxury brands. In other cases, you have exposure that is more than 20%. In our case, it is less than 10%. It will stay less than 10% for the reason I told you. For sure, we have also people from that nationality buying outside. But I think, let's say, there are a couple of things I'm particularly proud of the last Capital Market Day. One is to keep China below 10%, and two, to keep going with the 3 colors in our product strategy.
Formula One this weekend, Monaco, this is the big one. Are you worried about the Red Bull gap getting a little bit smaller?
But I think that this year we are in a better situation than 1 year ago.
Yeah.
Because if I see the last 7 races, we took 7 podium. In one case we took 2, in other case we took 0, but we took 7 podium. We cut the distance between us and the first one by factor 3 versus last year. So I think the team is doing a decent process. We are on the right track.
So you're confident for Scuderia?
I think there have been substantial progresses. We have to keep improving, like we have to keep improving in everything we do. I mean, this is the beauty of life.
This is a nice philosophy, full stop. Benedetto, as always, thank you so much for joining us. That was Benedetto Vigna, the chief executive of Ferrari. Now, the Ferrari chief executive will also feature on the new episode of Bloomberg's new Italian podcast series, jointly produced by Cora Media. It's a 10-part series in Bloomberg's first local language podcast, and it's called Quello che I soldi non dicono. Coming up, the world's leading PC maker actually beats estimates with a little help from artificial intelligence. Up next, we interview the chief financial officer of Lenovo. This is Bloomberg. Now, Nvidia, the chip maker at the center of an artificial intelligence boom, has gained after a bullish sales forecast showed that AI computing spending remains strong, while second quarter revenue will be about $28 billion, topping the $26.8 billion predicted by analysts. Now, results in the first quarter also beat projections lifted by growth in Nvidia's data center division. Now, we'll have plenty more, of course, on AI and some of the support that it's been giving markets across the board. It is pretty incredible, actually, to see that this stock has gone from strength to strength, delivery on some of the AI hosts, but also really igniting the stock rally worth $140 billion. Now, this is what NASDAQ futures are telling us right now. They're up again. They're climbing after this upbeat earnings from Nvidia. It seems to have reinforced optimism over the global artificial intelligence boom. Now, a couple of other things we're watching out for is, of course, the data we had in Europe on services, manufacturing and consumer confidence. And then a couple of the other things that we're watching is, for example, sterling on the back of Rishi Sunak yesterday calling for that election on July the 4th. It's a general election. Now to some other stories making news today. And consumer spending growth may have slowed, but not, I repeat, not for Taylor Swift fans traveling to Europe for the singer's Eras tour. Now, Bank of America says its customers spent 22% more in Paris this month when the singer's tour was in town. Swift performed in the French capital from May 9th to May 12th, just when the jump in spending registered. Well, European cities can look forward to a similar boost as fans flock to upcoming tour dates, including London, Milan and Vienna. Now, shares of Live Nation fell in late U.S. trading as Bloomberg revealed the Justice Department move seeking the breakup of the business over antitrust violations. Well, Live Nation, the biggest U.S. concert promoter, merged with ticketing giant Ticketmaster in 2010. Sources tell us the case is related to Ticketmaster's unrivaled control of concert ticket sales. Now, the merger of the two companies has been the subject of several antitrust investigations in the past. And Bloomberg has learned that Eni is studying a sale of its 20% stake in biorefining unit to Enilive. Well, the Italian energy company is working with advisors and is said to value the whole business at about 10 billion euros. Well, Eni is in the midst of a reorganization to help fund a transition to gas and renewable energy. So Nvidia also announced a stock split and raised to its dividend. Bloomberg's Ed Ludlow has the details.
Nvidia is supply constrained, meaning that demand for its AI accelerators is still outpacing its ability to supply. So when you look at the guide for the fiscal second quarter, sales of $28 billion plus or minus 2%, it's also interesting to look at where that demand's coming from. The story to this point has been Nvidia selling high-performance GPUs to the hyperscalers, those 3 or 4 big names that operate the data centers behind cloud computing. But that's changing. They're starting to do business with consumer technology, enterprise, government customers, and the market for generative AI in that sense is growing. The 10-for-1 stock split effective June 7th is also interesting, right? This is a stock that trades north of $950 a share. There's a lot of interest out there from the retail investor in the AI story in Nvidia. You just need to take a cursory look at Reddit or X or even Google Trends in real time during the earnings call, and it's what people are talking about. Beyond that, the big piece of news probably was that we will see meaningful revenue, a lot of revenue from Blackwell this year. Blackwell is the combination GPU, CPU, the latest generation of AI accelerator from Nvidia that's becoming much more of a systems vendor, really. But the chips will start shipping in the current period, ramp in the fiscal third, and actually go into data centers in the fiscal fourth. And Nvidia's proving that if the demand's there, it can also keep up in terms of just innovation, bringing a new product to market at a cadence of one a year. All eyes continue to be on Nvidia. This is Ed Ludlow for Bloomberg News in San Francisco.
And they're on the very latest of Nvidia. Now, Lenovo has reported a third successive quarter of better than expected profit. The world's leading PC maker has been buoyed by a rebound in demand for PCs and servers driven by AI. I'm delighted now to be joined by Wong Ming, the Group Chief Financial Officer at Lenovo. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. Can you talk us a little bit about how this AI boom that's helped you in the latest quarter will continue to do so? What are you most optimistic about the products and services you sell?
Yeah, we definitely have we have three business groups, the IDG, which primarily in device, and then we have the infrastructure as well as services. All those three business groups will benefit from AI. I think we are leveraging on using AI in our devices. We announced our first AI PC, I think about 6 months ago, I think in CES, and then we also, I think in our Tech World event, I think couple of months ago, I think getting all the industry players, Nvidia, Intel, so on and so forth, that actually really sort of introducing the AI, I think, in PC. And we actually launched our AI PC in China a few weeks ago, expecting to launch. Now, at the same time, go without saying that the infrastructure will obviously have a whole host of products that actually be able to meet the demand. And more importantly, I think our third business group, which is the services group, would actually bring in a lot of services to our customers.
So, sir,
be able to use AI.
It's amazing because actually Lenovo was one of the earliest to introduce these so-called new AI PCs, right? As you're saying, this new category, which you seem to suggest is also doing quite well in China. But do you think their benefit and their popularity has already been proven, or is it still early days?
Sorry, I missed your second part of your question. You are saying we are popular in China. I missed your second part of the question.
Yeah, so the question is, given the results and given that you've already rolled out these new PCs powered by AI or with AI features, has their popularity been proven? Are you confident that their popularity will increase?
Well, on the initial market feedback, I think that was a well-received product. I think because I think our AI PC obviously have features that actually meet the requirement of the customers. As I said, we announced our AI PC a few weeks ago. I think the initial response from the market is very positive, and we begin to start shipping out, I think, later this month or probably, I think, in a matter of weeks.
So what do you think is most appealing? And again, how many more iterations of these products will we be able to see?
Well, sorry, I think that I'm probably getting not clear your question. Are you asking what's the shipment is going to be like? Is that what your question?
I'm asking you, I think the line is not the easiest. I'm asking you how many more products that will use AI will grow. So I'm trying to get a sense about how much you're expecting this market to grow in the coming years.
Yeah, I think using our own definition, because at the moment, AI PC, I think different companies using different definition. I think we actually use a very tight definition. I think have certain features that we consider AI PC. I think for Lenovo, we expect that we will obviously have a whole portfolio of products, but initial shipment in the current fiscal year probably will be in single digit, and then we'll grow into double digit. I think up to IDC at the moment expecting that the market will probably have about 50-60%. I think in 2-3 years time, we believe that is probably we will definitely follow that trend.
So the electronics industry has largely bounced back. Do you think this is a new trend? Do you think it's bottomed out, that things will get better for electronics in general?
Mm-hmm. Well, definitely from a PC perspective, we are very confident, or we have very strong evidence. I think that AI, or the application of AI, I think is going to have a major impact, I think, in the PC industry. Now, we actually saw, and the other evidence that we see that when you call bounce back is when you look at our result, we look at our own results, we have a very challenging first half of the 23-24, and we begin to see the rebound in the third quarter, where the group actually reported, I think, growth in revenue. This quarter four, we actually see all our three business group, I think the device group, the enterprise group, as well as the services, they've all been actually growing through year. Now, looking at, I think, the order book, I think talking to customers, I think we are very confident that this trend will continue.
Thank you so much, Wong Ming, the Lenovo Group Chief Financial Officer there. Now, up next, Bloomberg UK and the challenges facing the Prime Minister after he called a general election.